How are we all doing? We are going to try this one again, and we're going to see whether it actually works or whether we've still got the same problems. I actually think it's working perfectly fine right now. So, yeah, I have no idea what that's about. Now, first things first, because a lot of you seem to be talking about it so much, and so many of you seem to want to actually know. But absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with my phone in any way, shape, or form. This is why you buy very good screen protectors, just in case you get the urge to lob it one day. So we're going to go into the player ratings. Now, of course, it's another defeat. And there's going to be a lot of talking points, and there's going to be a lot of people saying so many different things. For everybody that wants to talk about my reaction on AFTV because I lose my temper, it wasn't the super chat that I lost my temper with. It was the fact that Robbie's asking me the same questions over and over, and it's very misleading, a lot of what is being said. Now, I'm going to clarify a few things right here and now. First of all, it's not me that's been going around comparing Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta. It's everybody else comparing the pair of them, and I've had to answer and use them as their comparison to defend Mikel Arteta. I wouldn't be bringing it up if it wasn't for other people saying, oh, but in the first 28 games, this was comparable, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's fine. You can use them statistics, but why don't you also compare Unai Emery's start at Arsenal in comparison to Arsene Wenger? Because it was also better than his. Would you have Unai Emery ahead of Arsene Wenger and what he achieved at the club? Of course you wouldn't. So that's where I've gone into that. And that's why I was unhappy about that side of things. Also, I'm going to make this very, very crystal clear for some of the people that don't seem to be able to listen, and those that are at the back that cannot kind of fathom what is actually going on. When I made the comment about the rats, I made it very, very clear from the very beginning that if you've got an opinion on Arsenal, if you believe that the manager's not right for the job, and you want to speak and talk and debate about that, fine. No issues at all. I'm not calling you a rat. But if you want to go on a personal tirade towards the manager for monetary gains and views, and you're insulting the man's parents, mother, etc., then you're a rat. Yeah? Rat. End of story. You don't like it. Tough, really, to be quite honest with you. Can portray whatever you want to portray. The reality is there's only some real people around here, and it's certainly not some of you. Now, we have cleared all of that up. Let's also go into a few other things, because I've made this clear this morning, because some people seem to think the comparisons between abuse and criticism. I criticize a player. I say he's not good enough for the club. And some people seem to think that warrants people insulting my dead brother or my children or my family, or bringing up this ludicrous bullshit about beating wives and all this kind of stuff. People say to me, why don't you speak about that or defend it? What do I need to defend? Why do I need to speak about ludicrous, slanderous bullshit in my name? In all honesty, why? Don't need to, do I? People who know me know exactly what I'm like behind the, four walls and away from cameras or whatever. And my children, bringing them into stuff like that, you fool. So no, I don't need to answer that kind of stuff. So there's no comparison between abuse and criticism. Now, when Arsene Wenger was manager, don't get me wrong, I hold my hands up. I said a few things that I wished I'd never said. And I'm man enough to turn around and admit that. But let's not take away from the facts that the rot started at Arsenal when Arsene Wenger was still the manager. People are carrying on like Arsene Wenger left Arsenal and it was all rosy in the garden and everything was absolutely wonderful. There was no issues, no problems at all. We were still going to Brighton and getting battered. We were still going to Crystal Palace and getting humiliated 3-0. I remember so many results. Do you remember 5-1 back-to-back Bayern Munich and everything else? Humiliating. absolutely scandalous performances. I remember being 3-0 down against Bournemouth. Do you remember that? Don't make out that things were all great and sweetness and light, because half of the problem started under Arsene Wenger and Ivan Gazidis' reign at the club. That's the known fact. They started bringing in players in on ridiculous wages that did not have the mentality to play for Arsenal Football Club. It's a very known fact that when Virgil van Dijk was at you said Crystal Palace, I meant Celtic, Arsenal were in for him, but they weren't too sure, so they went for Mustafi. It's a very well-known fact that Arsenal were offered Kante and could have signed him, but they decided on Granit Xhaka, stat DNA and all this rubbish that Ivan Gazidis brought in. These were the problems. Those players that we're mentioning and were a part of Arsene Wenger's reign and were weak and feeble and could not produce performances for one of our greatest ever managers are still part of the club today. Let's look at the reality of that. So all this talk about Arsene Wenger coming back into the club as an interim manager to replace Mikel Arteta, what do you think is going to happen? There's a magic wand. You think these players are going to turn around and start playing for him? Half of them were the ones that failed him. You fools. Start thinking with your head and stop using your heart. That's the harsh reality. These players that failed him are still there today. So what makes you think they're going to now turn around and start playing for him when they didn't 3-4 years ago? Fools. Honest to God. I did see a super chat and I will get this in. Daniel Steckley, shout out to you. I still believe in Arteta, but he needs to stop putting faith in certain players who fail him constantly, and he needs his players too. And there I do agree. And this is where I've got no argument towards Mikel Arteta or defense of Mikel Arteta when he plays people like Willian. The first half performance that Willian put in yesterday, he should have been off at half time. That was an absolutely diabolical performance. That guy doesn't want to be at this club. That guy don't care. That guy ain't playing. He ain't fighting. What's he doing in a team? Get him out. That's where I can't defend Mikel. For players like that, putting Eddie up front instead of Lacazette, I can't defend that. I'm man enough to say, well, I can't. What can I say? I can't defend that. Of course I can't. Jesus Christ, I'm not blind to it. Now, you're looking at the team, and you remember, I'll go through that in a second, 1 second, but I got a super chat from Jack and Headbangers. Massive respect to you, DT. You don't need to give any clarification. We all know you're a diehard Arsenal fan who wants good only for the club. Haters rot. Shout out to you. But listen, there'll be people out there that portray one message. Listen, very, very soon, I'll go in and people won't like what I'm going to come out with, because some of the stuff that I know and the stuff that I can bring on people, you don't want to push my buttons, man. Trust me. I'm trying to be nice about things. But listen, some of the stuff that I see and I hear, and don't think that I don't see and hear it, because people send me it a lot. But I tell you something, yeah, don't listen to half of this stuff and people try and portray that they are some kind of, angel in all of this, because they're not. And this is one thing I will say as well. I see somebody say to me the other day, this is how social media works. Somebody said to me the other day that Troops has gone in on me, that he's like, retaliating to me saying about the T-shirt side of thing, even though I never said anything wrong. It was not directed at Troops. It's the company he now works for, and don't let him do that to him because it portrays a bad light on him. So I got sent this link to the YouTube video where apparently he goes in on me and everything. And I watched it. And he never actually said anything wrong in any way, shape or form. He was on Instagram Live, I think it was. And people in the comment section were just feeding him lies, saying, DT's gone in on you, he's this and that. And he still didn't respond to that by, going in on me. He was just saying, look, I'm not about all that. I've got no problem with DT. I'm in London soon. We can talk or whatever it is, something along them lines. And then the comments started coming in and saying, these people are lying. DT's not actually said anything. And then Troop said, see what I'm saying? This is why I'm not reacting, because I've not seen him say or do anything. And this is the same scenario where people come to me and say, oh, Troops has gone in on you, blah, 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 blah. I could instantly react and go, create this big shitstorm and do a video or whatever it is, or you know what I mean? I messaged Troops privately last week because I don't need to put it on social media. I said my thoughts and my opinion to him, and that's it. And I say it as a friend. So again, this is where people on social media try and stir that pot for whatever reasons, for their own gain, to get to see whatever they want to see. But the reality is it's not. So when I'm talking about people and I call them rats and stuff, then one of the people that's not a rat is Troops. And I'll say that straight. Whether he's Arteta out, I don't care if he's Arteta out. That's fair enough. I respect his opinion on that. But I know it comes from his heart. And I know that it's clean intentions. But there's other people that don't have clean intentions. And that's where I get involved. And that's why I say what I say and that they're rats. So there you go. Make of that what you will. Dark Newt, do you believe that Martinelli will return to his pre-injury form? Well, I'll tell you one thing that I did notice. When Martinelli came on yesterday, there finally was a bit of directness about our play. Somebody was finally picking up those pockets in those 10 kind of areas, because before that, the only person that was picking up those positions that weren't an Everton player was the referee. That's how embarrassing it was in that respect. And in the second half, we did everything but score. But there just was no real cutting edge. Again, it's just not good enough in that respect. So, like I was saying, this all started from the Wenger era. It all went to the way it did. Unai Emery was set up to fail, basically. It was always going to fail. And, you know, you try and give him an opportunity, you give him a chance, you back him and everything else. And then ultimately, all of the problems that were happening under Wenger start to resurface. Unai Emery had a great start to life. Arsenal, 22 games unbeaten. But then if you remember, after that, we then went from September to the end of December before winning a home game in the Premier League again. So we had our problems and it was surfacing and bubbling because the same people that failed one manager will now fail in a second. When Freddie Ljungberg took over, if you remember Freddie's last game before he handed over the reins to Mikel Arteta, ironically, it was Everton away. And he put all of the experienced kind of older heads out of the team. And he brought in the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe and everything else and the youngsters. And when he left, he said very clearly that these players were not good enough. And there was players that were causing problems and that Mikel Arteta will still have these problems. Freddie Ljungberg said this. And some people gave him criticism over it. And some people didn't believe him. But this is a guy that's been in and around the club for a long time and seen everything. So who are you going to believe? At what point do we stop changing managers over and over and over and it becomes a cycle and you start looking at the players as you go the way through? Don't get me wrong, and I've said this, Mikel is not, you know, free of criticism. He will get criticism when he does things wrong. Playing Willian, playing Eddie Nketiah, I've got no excuses for that in any way, shape or form. And I'd love to sit down and have the conversation with Mikel as to why he made those decisions. Just to ask him, why did you do that? Why did you keep Willian on the pitch? Why did you even start him? You know, I'd love to ask those kind of questions because every manager has made a decision that you can question. No matter who it is, Klopp, Guardiola, Wenger, doesn't matter. Every manager's done something that's not worked out. So he seems to be putting faith in people that are not, you know, repaying him in any way, shape or form. And it's the same older heads. And this is why some part of me kind of looks and thinks, you know what, just give the youngsters an opportunity. What could go wrong now? The season's already falling apart. So what could go wrong? Give the youngsters that do actually want to play for this football club an opportunity and let them go out there and show the experienced players or the so-called experienced players that are causing the problem what it's about playing for Arsenal. Because this is the thing. You have a disease right in the middle. And if you don't treat that disease, it spreads. Okay? The problem with Arsenal is that they've been putting, you know, like plasters, as you will, on a massive wound or whatever reference you want to say it as, or they've been given a medication and they've been slowing down the disease. But ultimately, it starts to take hold and get a grip again. So you bring in a Nicola Pepe, for example, and everyone thinks, yes, great, lovely, yeah. But in harsh reality, in your mind, you know deep down, that's not enough. He's never going to be enough. But you're blinded by that sense of like, okay, we've got him now. Yeah, we're happy. That you get caught. Same when Thomas Partey come in. The reality is we knew that Thomas Partey was not enough. You needed Thomas Partey, Hossein Mawar, and etc., etc. But you got Partey, and then you kind of went, yeah, well, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. But the reality is we shouldn't be happy with it because it's not enough. And I did see that super chat as well about good evening. Yeah, cheers for that one. That did put a smile on my face, though. But listen, that's the harsh reality of it. That's the be all and end all. That's the simple, facts of the matter. And I still see people talking about my phone. Listen, for the 100th time, look, my phone, absolutely fine. This is why. Look, I'll even show you the back. Let me take it out. Look, this is how mad my cover is. I can just about pull it out. Look at the back of the phone. Absolutely fine. Not broken or damaged in any way, shape, or form. So maybe I'll put a link up for my screen protector, and they can go and get some business for Christmas, because I tell you something, it's bloody good. But yeah, listen, man, I love this club to pieces, man. And at the end of the day, it hurts when I see the things that are going on. It hurts when I see us losing matches the way we are and everything. And, people trying to push my buttons. And that's why I've decided I need to take a back seat from some of these things. So you'll find out soon enough what I'm on about. But it's time. It's time. It's time. People saying definitely a new phone. I'd love to know how on earth I'm supposed to get a new phone within the space of a couple of hours, especially with everywhere in lockdown. Nowhere's even open. So where the hell do you think I pulled a new phone out from? I have no idea. But yeah, it's, it's time I started to develop my own things and do my own stuff. And yeah. Wilson J 93, do you believe if Arteta has the chance to get rid of certain players, him and Edu can get the right players in to improve the squad? And he's an LFC fan. One of the issues would be that Edu's not, blameless in all of this either, because he seems to be the one that helped bring Willian in and Kia Jaratkin and everything else. So yeah, there's one of the issues. Sarfak, Dubé, big up DT. You're back in Arteta, but just want to ask how you determine the cut-off point of sacking a manager, because repercussions will follow in the term of recruitment. Love your content. And this is the issue. With the way things are going, I believe that Arsenal wanted to try and get through till January, but with us losing so many games, there comes a point where you've got to look at it and say, Jesus Christ, man. And even I'm not that stupid or naive to not realize that. As much as I don't want us to sack the manager and I want us to stick by him and back him, and I want him to outsee these players that are rotting the core of Arsenal Football Club, the fact is that, the owners might turn around and say, we need to get someone in for the short term to get us out of the mess we're in. And then we look at the end of the season. But people talking about interim managers and it being Arsene Wenger is just absolutely ludicrous, because you bring Arsene Wenger back in and you expect him to motivate and get the players playing and working when 60% of the squad are players that weren't working and motivated for him when he was manager. That's the harsh reality. Christopher Williams, are you saying you're leaving AFTV? Chat, you picking up on this? I cannot divulge in anything, but I need to take a back seat from a few things, and I need a few things to be clarified beforehand, because I'm just not happy with certain things. I'm not happy with certain people getting away with certain things and this, that, the other, and I can't say no more than that, really. But I think it's time that I took some time out for myself and my family as well. And yeah, there's just too much going on. Too many people that are, yeah, man. It's like, yeah, I see even in the comments, somebody, it's just like, come on, man, at what point? And I see people say, oh, but AFTV made you. Listen, nobody made me. it's at the end of the day, I made myself. I was successful before AFTV even come along. And if anyone knows me and knows about my life and my business, then there you go. So, you know, people carry on like you was a bum and that you never had nothing beforehand or whatever. So there's no issues with me and Robbie or anything like that. Please don't get this twisted. I'm just saying, for my own sake, I need to, you know, think of my health, and I need to think of a few other things. And I think, I'm not actually sure whether I've actually sorted it out yet. Let me have a look. Yeah, no, I haven't sorted it out yet, but we should have a show tonight, actually, and there should be something going on. So we'll let you know that in due course. But yeah, it is what it is, man. But let's go into some of the super chats as well. We should go for Papu Gomez from Atalanta. Has had a falling out with the club, will help with the creative problems, and that's from Paul. And do you know what, I haven't seen a lot of him, so I can't really comment in that respect. So if you want to let me know in the comment section, people who know who he is and what you think, and whether he could be the answer for Arsenal. Sidamph has said, hey DT, what do you make of Arteta's use of Pepe? It seems that he is the big dilemma at the club, especially with the price tag hanging over his head. He's not being used correctly. He ain't being used correctly, and we know that, and we've seen that. I don't know what more I can say about that. I don't think there's too much I can say. Yeah, it's a strange one. But when you look at the team yesterday, let's go through the 11 first of all. Leno, Holding, Louise Tierney, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Mohamed El Neni, Danny Ceballos, Bukayo Saka, Nicola Pepe, Eddie Nketiah, and Willian. Now, I look at that. Leno is a Unai Emery signing. Holding, Arsene Wenger. David Luiz was an Emery. Tierney was an Emery. Maitland-Niles is academy. El Neni was Wenger. Ceballos was Emery. Saka is academy. Pepe is Emery. Was it? Yeah, Emery. Eddie Nketiah is an academy, and Willian is Arteta. So one player out of our starting 11 yesterday was a Mikel Arteta signing. Now, granted, that one player is a load of dog shit, but there's one of the problems right there. He's calling upon a group of players that he did not bring to the club. And I look at that and I'll probably say Leno, Tierney, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Saka, still Pepe, and that's it. That you would look to build your teams around, your squad around and everything, and that you would look for the future. So you're talking a handful of players. Martinelli came on. Lacazette's not his. Joe Willock's an academy boy. And even Martinelli's not his player, but he's definitely one for the future. So of 14 players that were used yesterday, 13 of those players were not brought to this club by Mikel Arteta. That's mad. When you think of it like that, that is mad. It is mad. That is crazy. 14 players used, and only one of them was Mikel Arteta's signing. And don't get me wrong, I've said he's shit. Yeah. And I see someone mentioning as well about other players. Yeah. There's other players. I'm not mentioning them because they weren't in the squad yesterday, which is why. Josh Tenor, apart from a creative midfielder, what signings do you want to see come in January and in the summer? We need a right back, centre midfielder, attacking midfielder. Those are just 4 areas instantly. Massively, we need to invest and develop. Let's go and get into player ratings. Leno starting off in goal and didn't have a lot to do, did he, really, to be honest with you? Had no chances with the goals, nearly saved the second one, got his hand to it, but difficult. But you got the biggest man on the pitch being marked by Pepe. Something's not right. I will give Leno a 5. Didn't have much to do, to be honest with you. Rob Holding next, and everyone talks about his performance the other day against Southampton, and I think one of the reasons why he won every single ball in the air was because he was going up against players that are around about 6 foot or less. He went up against Calvert-Lewin, who is an absolute monster in the air, and he lost every single time. It's not good enough. This was our captain. Absolutely dreadful. Rob Holding, for me, he gets a 2. David Luiz, I don't think he had a bad performance. I think that he was the one that was trying to drive into the midfield areas and trying to create a little something with the diagonal passes. But if that's what our game's gone down to, then, yeah, we've got a bit of a problem, haven't we? But I'll give him a 5. Tierney, I thought he was the best out of the 3. I thought he was getting forward and really working and trying, and yeah, some of the balls that he puts into the box are unbelievable, but what's the point when you've not got anyone that can head a ball in there? He gets a 6. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, for me, was our man of the match. I felt he was excellent. His intercepting, his work rate, won the penalty, tried everything he possibly could. And yeah, I think it's justified why he starts ahead of Hector Bellerin now. Maitland-Niles gets a 7. Left wing back was Saka, and he tried, but I don't think he really come into the game until the last 20 minutes or so, I'd say it was. Yeah, I'd say around about the last 20 minutes. Yeah, I'd say last 20 minutes, Saka kind of come into the game a bit, but before that, wasn't really too much involved, kind of on the edges a bit, and doesn't seem like, he was being brought into the game as such. I think Everton knew that he was a danger, so we're able to snuff that out. But I'll give him a 6 for his performance. Last 20 minutes was decent, though. El Neni, not good enough in any way, shape, or form. He gets a 2 as well, because that was dreadful for me. Danny Ceballos, it's very evident why. Real Madrid don't want him. Come on, man. How many games has he played? I think he's got 2 goals and 1 assist in about a season's worth of games. It's not good enough in any way, shape, or form. If we want to move forward, then nah, not good enough for me. He gets a 2 as well. I didn't rate that performance in any way, shape, or form. Attacking areas, Nicola Pepe, I thought in the first half he was one person that was working and at least trying. And then it kind of filtered out into the second half. But I feel sorry for him. We're not playing to his strengths. He looks very low on confidence. But I'll give him a 4. Eddie Nketiah are not good enough. Simply not good enough. And this was a guy that was struggling to get in the Leeds team, who were in the Championship last season. That's the harsh reality. And now you expect him to lead the line for Arsenal Football Club. Not good enough. 1. Willian, 0. I do not need to say any more than that. He is one of our worst signings we have ever had. And we have had some absolute dog shit signings over the past. Under Wenger, under Emery, under Arteta. Jesus Christ, I reckon you could go right back to the 1930s under Herbert Chapman and you would find no player a worse signing than Willian. He is absolutely awful. What on earth is he doing in our club? I thought he would bring a bit of experience and a bit of knowledge and something about him. At least he could take free kicks and be dangerous or whatever. Listen, he's more danger to us and what he can do for other teams and helping them than anything else. He is absolute shit. Absolute shit. He offers nothing to this team in any way, shape, or form. Like literally nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing. Oh, mate, how is this guy got a 3-year contract and the amount of fucking money he earns, man? And he's shit. He just runs around and does nothing. Nothing in any way, shape, or form, man. And this is the problem. Because how the hell are you going to get rid of him now? Honest to God, I'd get rid of him in January. Honestly, I'd get rid of him in January, man. Get out of here. It's like, let me have a look at something, right? I'm going to have a look at this. Let me look at the Arsenal squad right now. All right. And I'll tell you why I'm going to do this, or why I'm saying this, right? Because do you remember before the start of the season, we terminated Henrik Mkhitaryan's contract, didn't we? He was on nearly 200 grand a week, just over 180. And we terminated his contract. And it was the right thing to do. Now, I don't know whether you can, have these in people's contracts. Some players, we don't know what the ins and outs of their contracts are. But unless a player, it's gross misconduct or something along them lines, players might have things in their contracts about how they can't terminate them. They've got to see out their contracts or be sold. So I don't know whether that's in place, but I'm having a look now, right? Hector Bellerin, sell. I'm hearing reports that Barcelona want him. I will pay for his flights. Please, I'm begging you. I will even send him off with a complimentary tree, a plant, whatever it is. Just go. Get out of the club. Tierney, we keep him. Saliba, we're keeping him. Socrates is going anyway, but he hasn't caused any problems from what you see from the outside in. But he'd be gone in January. That's one I would get rid of in January. Gabriel stays. Rob Holding, bye-bye. Cedric, don't know why he's got a 4-year deal. Try and get some money back in any way, shape or form. Bye-bye. Mustafi, absolutely get out of the door in January. Callum Chambers, nice boy, but is he going to be anything moving forward for Arsenal? How many years has he been here? No, not for me. Bye-bye. Murray, I haven't actually seen a problem with him, and I think that he would be good, decent enough cover in those defensive areas. David Luiz, bye-bye. See you later. Kolasinac, bye-bye. See you later. Saka, we keep him. Danny Ceballos, bye-bye. Mesut Ozil, bye-bye. Maitland-Niles, you keep him. Thomas Partey, you keep him. Mohamed El Sideways, bye-bye. Joe Willock, I would still keep him. He's a young boy. He knows what Arsenal's about, and I think that, he could work definitely in the future. Smith Rowe, keep him. Granit Xhaka, bye-bye. Lacazette, I'm sorry, but he's been here long enough now and it's not worked out, and it's time to try and get some money, and he's only got a year left on his contract. Bye-bye. Willian, absolutely bye-bye. Aubameyang, keep. Pepe, keep. Reece Nelson, keep. Eddie Nketiah, move him on and promote Balogun. Martinelli, keep him. Mavropanos, sell him. Although he's doing really well out on loan, it just never worked out here. Lucas Torreira, I'd rather him in the team than Granit Xhaka right now, so I'd actually bring him back in January for that reason. But if we can get a substantial amount of money to rebuild, then bye-bye. Guendouzi, another one, petulant little brat. But I'll tell you something, I'd rather him in the midfield than Mohamed El Sideways and Granit Xhaka right now. So if we brought him back in January, I would bite the bullet and just do it because needs must. But if we can get a substantial amount of money for him, then bye-bye. So you're looking at the team, and in all honesty, Martinelli, Reece Nelson, Pepe, Oba, Smith Rowe, Willock, Partey, Maitland-Niles, Saka, Murray, Gabriel, Saliba, Tierney, Leno, and then Runarsson there. That's all you would keep. Honest to God, that's how bad things are at Arsenal right now. We would literally need to rip this squad to pieces. Arsenal will go bust if you get relegated with the wages alone. DT, welcome to the Rat Army. And that's from DJ Tivy. I'm not part of the Rat Army. And again, let me just explain things. If you want the manager out, and that's your opinion, you're not a rat. And I've said that from the very beginning. It's the people that are using it for other reasons and being abusive to the man and his family, his mom, and whatever it might be, then you're a rat. And some of the stuff I've seen online from some people is just disgusting. But listen, it is what it is. Ethan, even if everyone wants Arteta out, being an American sports fan and watching bad, cronky teams in the NHL, NBA, NFL, no matter how bad the season is going, he doesn't let managers, coaches go mid-season. I actually don't know too much about what's going on with his teams, you know, outside of the Premier League. Does he even know where we are in the league? Does Gronky even know? He's probably sitting there thinking we're fighting for top 4. They're probably telling him, and he ain't even knowing what's going on. Like, oh, Stan, we won again at the weekend. Yeah, we're in the top 4 at the moment, mate. Don't worry. Yeah, Mikel's doing fine. And Stan's there just smoking on his big cigar, like, okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. Doesn't know what's going on. You don't know the results. Come on, man. Absolute joke. And the thing, listen, Pepe, he's not bad. He's not bad at all. Play the right system with the right players, and you've got yourself one hell of a player there. What's the Brighton Sheffield United score? Is it 1-1 now? Oh, that might be actually a good draw for us. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. How on earth are we looking at Sheffield United and Brighton scores and saying that it's good for us? Oh, I did see that. I wanted to read that out. Send a birthday shout out to Arjun. He doesn't miss a single video of mine. Shout out to him and happy birthday. Hopefully Arsenal have not ruined it too much. Welbeck has scored. No. There was an opportunity yesterday. Did you see that when the ball fell to Iwobi on the edge of the box? And I was like, oh no. You'd have had Walcott and then you'd have had Iwobi. On Boxing Day, we've got Olivier Giroud returning. And then just before 2020 finishes, we've got Brighton and Danny Welbeck returning. Talk about how's your luck and turning the screw on us. Oh, my dear God, man. How on earth would that happen? You just wouldn't be able to wonder, would you? But look, man, it is what it is. And the way I look at things and the way that I see things is that, it is what it is. So, you know, people will be out there and people will be portraying their self one way for everybody. But the reality is that there's only a few people that are actually genuine. And it's definitely not them in any way, shape or form. But look, let me know in the comment section what you think of the player ratings with the markings that I gave. What would you change if you change anything? What would you do differently? Shout out as well to Damien from Tobago. Get your comments in, get super chats in, get normal comments in, whatever it might be. If you want to get over to become a channel member, get yourself involved as well and sign up for the channel membership. Going to be doing what will I be doing over Christmas? There will be some live videos and there will be some ones for members only with the live videos. So get yourself involved in that respect. Trying to go through some of these super chats if I can. Gunner Station, why is there a clamour for Ozil to return? The same fans forgot how he repeatedly disappeared in big games, especially away. He's not the solution. I backed him more than anybody. But there you go. That right there is prime example. He is not the solution. He's not the reason why, you know, we're going to get out of this mess. And some people just don't seem to, you know, register that. Christopher Williams says DT Bridge ? Watch along on your channel soon. Watch this space. So yeah, we'll where do you think we will finish this season. Oh, put my neck on the line with this one, innit? I think we'll finish in the top 10. How bad is it? Yeah, I think we'll finish in the top 10. To be fair, I do think we'll finish there at least. But things have not been great, and things are not great, and we need to sort that out somehow. I don't know how, but we do need to sort it out massively. It's just, yeah, it's not great. Blizzard says, hope you and your family have a nice Christmas. Thank you. And I hope that you have a very nice Christmas as well, you and your family. And that goes to everybody. I hope that you do have a nice Christmas and New Year and everything. And let's try and put this year behind us. But at the same time, let's also remember that once 2020 is gone and we go into 2021, COVID will still be here. It ain't going to just go away. It ain't going to sit there and go, oh, we're in a new year now. I'm just going to go. We've got a lot more rough before we can get over this. So let's all try and be there for each other and, try and get through it, whatever way. Big Josh has said, I think that we will finish 10th. Remember when Chelsea finished 10th that year? Leicester won the league, and then look at them the next season. And this is the thing, Chelsea were in this kind of predicament. I believe it was Mourinho's season after they'd won the Premier League, and they were down where we are at the moment, and things were bad for them, and they got rid of him. And I think a lot of that, stemmed from the, argument that he had with the physio and the stuff and the fallout. And yeah, that wasn't great at all. Steve Chung has said, why are we not talking about Rafa Benitez? He would be perfect for Arsenal. I still think that Mikel Arteta will be perfect for Arsenal, but we need to get things changed. And the problem is Rafa will come in, maybe change things around for a couple of months, and then you've got the same weak, spineless individuals that will just come out and do the same things that they've been doing for the last 3-4 years. So that is my biggest concern and my biggest issue with a lot of these players, that they just simply cannot be trusted. You look at Manchester United last season, they were in a similar situation to us, and they were lacking creativity, and they had big problems, sitting down in 15th place at one point as well. And then January came along and they brought Bruno Fernandes, and he literally changed all of their fortunes immediately. We need somebody that's going to come into this club and be able to change our fortunes immediately. But I do also believe we've got a lot more wholesale problems than what Manchester United had, where Manchester United had one or two players that they needed to get rid of that might be bad apples or being a part of the disease. The majority were there and will play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the problem with us is that we've got an absolute squad full of players that are simply not good enough and not playing and need to be gone. And it's so difficult to try and get rid of those those multiple players rather than one or two. Sorry. And the other problem as well is that we put these players on ridiculous wages and nobody else wants to buy them. Roma wanted Mkhitaryan, but there's no way they were going to pay 200 grand a week wages and match it. So that's why we had to terminate the contract. Who's going to buy Mesut Ozil and give him 350 grand a week in wages? Who's going to buy Kolasinac and give him 110 plus? Who's going to take Bellerin and put him on over 100 grand? Come on, man. Let's be real about it. All these players, average footballers that are taking money out of this club ridiculously. Kofi says, I back Arteta, but what has Nketiah done to deserve a start? And why is Balogun not starting? Some of the questions he will answer. Willian is a waste. And I agree. And that's where I can't back Mikel Arteta as to, why Eddie keeps getting these opportunities and the likes of Balogun don't. And Willian, I said all I need to say, man. 100% agree with you. Henko Pretorius says, DT, I said at the start of the season we needed a player like Aouar to break down lower block teams, but Arsenal, a club with a net worth of 1.6 billion, lost the deal because of what? 45 million was too much for us. WTF. And again, I can't disagree or say anything in defense of that, because it's simply not good enough. Everything that's been going on, the players and, some of the signings and not signings and everything. And that's where the likes of Stan Kroenke needs to take ownership in that respect, because do they really care in that much? So Andy Reynoso, Arsenal have played 14 games and are in 15th. Aston Villa have played 11 and are 11th. No disrespect, but this should not be happening. No, it shouldn't. But all of the problems that have been bubbling and bubbling and bubbling for years upon years upon years have now finally just got to the surface and exploded. It's like a volcano. It's there. It's bubbling away. But when's it going to explode? Nobody knows. When's it going to erupt? And then when it does, literally wipes everything in its path out of the way. And that's one of the problems we've got right now. Massive shout out to Ethan for the super chat. Big respect to you. I just don't understand how people can know that what the feelings of the board is to Ozil can know this, and then take what Mikel said about Ozil purely on his statement. Those were board orders. Look, there's no way Mikel Arteta can make a decision of that magnitude without the board telling him or backing him. The guy's on 350 grand a week in wages. They pay him those wages to contribute to Arsenal Football Club, to pay for Arsenal Football Club. You do not allow a player to just sit and train on a weekly basis for 350 grand a week with no contribution in any way, shape or form to the team without the backing of the people at the top. And that is Stan Kroenke, Josh Kroenke, etc. They would have been behind this and know full well what the reasoning is behind this. And I would love to know when it's finally over what the real reasons are. And, either Mesut Ozil is one hell of a social media expert and has got people eating out the palm of his hands and making out that he's Mother Teresa and the greatest thing since sliced bread and never causes a problem, or he has been the problem all along and people are blindly following and blaming others instead of him, because we already know that he does have a massive following that do very much support him rather than Arsenal, shall we say. So I would love to know what the hell is going on behind closed doors. I've heard 1,000,001 different rumors. I've heard stuff from players and coaches and people connected to the club, past, present, whatever it might be. And everyone's got an opinion on everything. And only people that really know what's going on are the people in the know. And that is the owners, Mikel and Mesut Ozil himself. So, yeah, interesting. Big Josh, I can see why people are Arteta out, but how many managers are we going to go through until we realise that it's those spineless players back Arteta? And this is the thing, and this is why I do still back him, because at what point do you turn around and you say, nah, it's not the manager anymore, it's the players? So many of these players were part of Wenger, part of Emery, part of Ljungberg, part of Arteta. It's 4 different managers. Even though Freddie was only there as an interim, this was an invincible, a legend of Arsenal Football Club. If you compare Freddie Ljungberg to Mikel Arteta in terms of legendary status at Arsenal, there's only one winner. Freddie Ljungberg was like part of the most unbelievable Arsenal teams, the most amazing Arsenal teams, and some of the stuff that he did and he created and everything else. And you think about the goal that he scored at Old Trafford. And do you remember that? Oh my dear God, what a goal that was when he did that. And it's like, this was a man that was just part of everything that we did at the club. And like I was saying, it was an invincible double winner, just everything. He was a legend. And yet these players still didn't play for him. Do you remember how we were performing? I remember going away to Norwich and places like that, and we still weren't performing for him. So if he can't get it out of them, come on, man. And then we went to his last game in charge against Everton, and that was kind of his like final farewell, where he could go, yeah, you know what? I don't care what none of you say. I'm going to pick a team that I want today. And he brought in a load of youngsters and pushed all the experienced heads out on the bench. He was like, yeah, get over there. Piss off, man. You lot ain't going to perform for us. You're not good enough. Get over there, man. So it's one of them, man. It's crazy when you think about it. And it's, listen, it is what it is. And I can't say no more than that. So, look, I've gone on for nearly an hour. I want to send a massive shout out to everybody that's been locked in and tuned in and everything else, sent super chats and normal questions and all sorts. I want to get everyone over to the channel membership. Get yourself over there. Get yourself involved. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Also in the link is the DTFC channel. Make sure you subscribe to that. The episode from last week's not out today because we're not allowed to release the footage until the FA have made their final decision on what actually happened on that day. So we just have to sit tight, hold tight, wait, and yeah, then I can release what's going on. But listen, a massive thank you to everybody that's tuned in and been involved. Super chat just come in just in time. And it says, Craig D, surely the regular starting 11 are contracted to do so. Why else would they get a game? I don't actually know what that's about, whether he's actually answering to somebody else that's, you know, left a comment or whatever. But do you think that James... hold on a minute, I've lost that. Where the hell did that go? I did see something from Big Josh, but it's gone, man. This is the thing with this. It's so hard to keep up with some of the questions, man. So my apologies. I didn't see that one come up. Kieran Sabassi, are you leaving AFTV? No comment. I've got some talking to do, but I got my own things as well, man. I need to concentrate, and it is what it is. And show us your phone. I've already showed it, man. There's nothing wrong with my phone. Don't worry about my phone, man. My phone's fine. Seeing this one here, Flamini would be a good chairman. Listen, the problem with Flamini is best mates with Mesut Ozil. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm chilled out most of the time, apart from when people push my buttons sometimes. But listen, I'm passionate about the club. I love the club, so I can't say much more than that. But yeah, listen, thank you to everybody that's joined us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and everything else. And what day is it now? DT Daily back tomorrow morning. And then we're going to do a preview to the Manchester City game on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, massive shout out to all of you. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of it.